All right, man, let's talk about Paulie Malignaggi. He says he's not sure if Terence Crawford can deal with Errol Spence's physicality. Let me say, be the first to say, the two Magic Men calling the fight were great together, and Paulie Malignaggi and Antonio Tarver. Tarver was always my favorite on the mic, calling fights. But my thing is this. First it was, Terence Crawford. I'm not saying Paulie said this, but first it was Terence Crawford. Legs is gone. He can't use his legs no more. Then when he kind of uses legs versus Sean Porter, then it's all the towel thing and throwing in the towel and all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, excuse me. It's something, but I think he showed versus Jeff Horn that he can be physical. I was expecting that from him versus Avanesian. But to me, he handled the pressure well. A lot of guys can't handle that pressure, and that's why Average was able to break down Josh Kelly, that consistent pressure. A lot of people want to do a lot of unnecessary moving. He didn't do that. He just took his time. And it's hard versus a pressure fighter to take your time. You know what I'm saying? We know Terence Crawford Achilles heel is the overhand lefts and rights. But even versus Felix Diaz, after a while, he made that adjustment and started catching him and started punching with Felix Diaz. But, if he had a weakness, that's one weakness I'll point to, that looping overhand left and right. But after a while, he started picking them hands up, and he makes those adjustments. So, but I think the Jeff Horn fight showed that, the physicality should be no problem unless he physically fell off. But with the pressure with Avanesian, he was giving up ground to Avanesian, and he was picking Avanesian apart. Now, Avanesian has success here and there. I mean, at first you think it was rust, but then he allowed Avanesian to dictate real estate. But then again, when you scoring like he was scoring, it was different than you breaking down a prospect with pressure. A lot of dudes, they get that pressure on them, they don't know what to do. They want to start, moving off their spot. A lot of times, the pressure guy, you want to push him backwards. And that's kind of what he did versus Jeff Horn. And that maybe because Jeff Horn was a little bit more, the headbutt can become a problem. The elbows and how physical he was, maybe he didn't want to, risk getting the cut like that. But one thing I will say, Errol Spence ain't no great inside fighter. And I keep telling people that. He remind me of Kovalev. He one of them dudes that he walk to you, but he like to keep you at the end of his punches. And that's to me, that's okay. Because if you look at him versus Ugas, somebody just shared the clip, but Ugas clipped him on Twitter. He's squaring up on the inside. Great inside fighters don't do that. Good inside fighters don't do that. Shit, average inside fighters don't do it. A lot of these guys can't fight on the inside. So I look at the stuff he do, stand straight up on the inside. He's straight up like a broomstick. It's just certain things you look at. He really good, like Kovalev, keep you at the end of his snapping punches, and that's his pressure. It's not like Better Biev or Better Biev just maul you, or like a Lamada, or Hagler or Chavez, Duran. It's not that type of pressure. It's not. He more of them guys that kind of like Thomas Hearns, kind of keep you at the end of his shot. It's do it different though. Thomas fight more with a rhythm. Errol more of a, boom, boom, boom. He more kind of systematically break you down and stuff like that. But I mean, like I said before, I think versus Jeff Horn, he answered it. How Jeff Horn bullied Manny Pacquiao around, he couldn't do that with Terence Crawford. Crawford, matched his physicality. So I don't really think that becomes a problem. But even on the inside, I like Terence Crawford on the inside more than Errol Spence. Keep telling y'all that. Nobody want to listen to me, but I like him more than, you probably never gonna find out. But I like him on the inside more than Errol Spence. Like I said, if you told people before Duran made the comments about how Canelo couldn't fight on the inside, people would say you crazy. You know what I'm saying? At one point, Floyd Mayweather had some issues on the inside versus Castillo. They worked on it, and it didn't it really wasn't an issue again in his career. You can get better. But in my opinion, Errol Spence on the inside make a lot of fundamental mistakes that'll get him knocked the fuck out. That's why Ugas had success, hurt him to the body, hurt him to the chin, wobbling him and stuff of that nature. I keep telling y'all, I watched boxing a long time, dude. This generation don't know how to fight on the inside nor defend themselves. That's why better BF will be a fucking problem for a lot of guys, regardless of weight. If he can move up and down the skill, Brandon Rios would be a problem for a lot of guys. A lot of guys, that's why Avanesian caused problems and got so many knockouts. They can't deal with that constant pressure. When you fight a pressure fighter, you know, you do exactly what Crawford did. Either you walk to him like Andre Ward did Kovalev, or you start touching that body. You start throwing uppercuts. You know, see if he can stand in the kitchen with you like that, then you in for a long night. Then maybe Crawford would have to get on the front foot. But he couldn't take it. He couldn't take it. The body work, the uppercuts. And it wasn't even like Terence Crawford was showing angles neither. Crawford was just sitting in there with him. You know, Crawford was just sitting in there with him. So when you talk about the physicality, I mean, I'm looking at the fighter and I'm just thinking like, bruh, he's a big guy for 147 pounds, but there's a lot of fundamental mistakes when they go on the inside. A lot of squaring up, you know, a lot of, you know, overcommitting, a lot of standing straight up. He get knocked out fighting Terence Crawford like that on the inside. I'm telling you. Unless Crawford fall off a cliff. So you talking about, well, I don't know if he can fight, you know, physicality and all that type of stuff. Well, he showed you versus Jeff Horn, you know. Can't bully that man. I'm telling y'all, he understands leverage. The same thing I'm telling y'all about Usyk. That's why they tell you to put your kids as many, you know, activities or sports as possible. Because they all correlate, and all the movements and the fluidity and all that, it correlate with each different sport. When you wrestle, you understand where your leverage at. You understand when to drop your weight. You understand all that type of stuff. You understand all that. And at the end of the day, he knows his center of gravity, all that type of stuff. So that don't really concern me. Obviously, Errol Spence's size advantage is, you know, being big. And if Crawford didn't have power, then you would probably be worried about it. You know, but then again, you know, they see what I see. PBC see what I see when it comes to Terence Crawford. Everything I'm seeing, they see. They know it's going to be a long night at the fucking office. If he win that fight, he going to earn it. And the hard thing about thugging it out and all that type of shit, this man, if he have to, he can come from behind. If he have to, that's the difference. When you got a guy that got power, he can come from behind. You know, usually Errol Spence, you know, he probably be in a competitive fight, then he can step it up. And a lot of his opponents can't step it up where he can step it up at. This guy can. He can step it up as you step it up, and then he carry power into the later rounds. So you squaring up like he's squaring up versus Ugas and making them mistakes, man, he going to sleep. I'm telling you, you can't sit in the pocket. You can't fight on the inside like he fighting the inside. And then throw a straight left, he squares straight up. He's square. Square SpongeBob, square pants. What do you do? Square rep, whatever you want to call him. He's square. He's square as hell. Keep trying. So you can't make them fundamental mistakes. Even with Canelo Alvarez, you can't make the mistakes. When you at a weight disadvantage or a natural strength disadvantage, you can't make them mistakes. Keep telling y'all that shit. So at the end of the day, Albanese controlled the real estate, but I think Terence Crawford allowed him and just walk with him, you know, and it was a good fight. He made Terence Crawford step it up a little bit. He made him kind of hit the gas a little bit. So, like I said before, then, you know, they question, but when Errol Spence get rocked, nobody have a question. Act like it didn't happen. He get hurt to the body several times to Ugas. Nobody got a question. Nobody questioned him. When he go distance with Mikey Garcia, nobody said, well, he ain't got no power. Nobody ever questions what he did something. Paulie Malignaggi secretly want to be back with PBC. I remember he was trashing Al Heyman. He started getting them Al Heyman checks. I heard them motherfuckers funny anyway over there. I don't even think he want to mess with them funny ass checks no more. They funny over there. What you doing, he kind of remind me of one of them hoes you cut off. You know what I'm saying? But they steep stalk you, strolling up to your house, fucking up everything else you got going on. That outside dick keep them hoes sick like, ooh. You know what I'm saying? That's what that kind of remind me of. He got his mind made up that he ride with Errol Spence and ride with Al Heyman. That's fine. After as many times we seen one of them jokers, you know, had an episode, so be it. But if I wish people at PBC felt the way Paulie Malignaggi do, the way Errol Spence fan base do. I wish Derek James felt that way. I don't even think Errol Spence truly feel that way. It's just to the point where he just tired of people slandering him, and he just to the point like, I'll do it. If y'all gonna act like this, I'm not no bitch. I'm not no hoe. I'll do it. Come on. I'm gonna show y'all, but it ain't by force. I mean, it wasn't, you know, willingly. He was forced into doing that. But that's what you hear Kenny Paul. He's so big and this, that, and the third, and you know that might be the case. When you're 35 years old, anything can happen. Them legs can go out just like a tire on your inner tubes on the tile of my mongoose. You say, them legs can go out. So that's an advantage for him. When I think about real big welterweights, I'm just showing, you know, my age, my history. I think about Thomas Hearns, Trinidad, De La Hoya, you know, guys like Paul Williams, guys like Antonio Margarito, guys like Sugar Ray Robinson. I kind of think about guys like that. That's kind of I think of guys like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about real Sugar Ray Leonard, guys that went up. I think Sugar Ray Leonard, how far he went up? High as hell. Thomas Hearns went up to cruiserweight. You know, you think about that. Roberto Duran, he went through there, came up. You know, he fought, you know, he went 15 with Marvin fucking Hagler. Think about that for a minute. He went 15 with Marvin Hagler. So I think about real physical and big welterweights. He don't impose me as a, and I know he's a big dude, but he don't strike me in that category. He don't strike me as being in that category. And then there might be an XL category and Errol Spence might be in the large category. But I never stood next to him. So I can't say. So, but hey, let me know what you girls and guys think. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. The subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance, get notifications. We go live and drop video. Financially want to support the channel. Cash App, $CJ Good 313. Venmo, CJ Good 313. PayPal link description. Hit the link tree. Find me on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, the whole nine. Hit the link tree. Find me on Twitch, Twitter, everywhere. Appreciate y'all. Peace.